it was a lot, so doing so much traveling and and cutting weight and just having that experience for the first time ever on such a large scale.
Download the AllStar app. Make your picks for UFC fights, challenge your friends, level up and win prizes. Link in description. Get it now. Let's jump right into it, man. Back-to-back pay-per-view cards, back-to-back international fights, another opponent on their home turf, so to say. How do you feel about the
Yep.
opportunity?
Oh man, I love it. I live for stuff like this. It's a beautiful opportunity to get a lot of eyes on me, and it's a great opportunity to go into a different country and get a whole new set of fans and people just watching me from around the world. So I'm I'm loving it. I still get messages from Australia, and I'm looking forward to just building the fan base out in Canada.
Nice, man. Yeah, I wanted to jump into that first. Australia, the fans there are pretty insane, man. Fighting is massive out there. Did you expect it to be that big?
No, I mean, you look at a prelim out here, early prelims, and you'll see people that uh people like won't even be at the fight, but the whole stadium was pretty much packed early prelims, and we fought at 7:30 in the morning. So it's like I mean, these people were ready to watch them fights, ready to enjoy themselves, and they weren't playing around. So it was fun. It was a beautiful thing, and so many people have stayed in contact with me and reached out on Instagram and whatnot. It's been beautiful.
Yeah, man. It's great to see that, man. Especially you being the fighter from America heading into you know territory unknown and doing your thing. Let's talk
Yeah,
about the fight, the actual fight. You talked about
absolutely.
fighting jet lagged, man. How was it dealing with that during the fight?
You know what? It was tough, because it's one of those things that you just don't know what your energy is going to be like. So, being on a plane for 20 hours, and I mean that's just on the plane, and not to mention, layovers in Brisbane, waiting for your flight at LAX. I missed my flight, my connecting flight. It was a lot, so doing so much traveling and and cutting weight and just having that experience for the first time ever on such a large scale, definitely showed me know that it doesn't matter. A lot of people say like, oh, I performed bad because of this or this, but I just feel like no matter what, my mindset is bulletproof, and nothing can get in the way of me having a good performance or a bad performance. I'm gonna perform to the level that I trained at, and you get what you give. So I feel always prepared for anything.
For sure. And what were some of the adjustments you had to make, that you needed to make to get that win?
I think my ego might have got the best of me. There's a lot of guys that were saying, "Oh, he's from one of the best striking gyms in the world. There's no way that Bilder can win standing it up." So a lot of people thought that I wanted to just take him to the ground and beat him there. But that was never the case. I was confident in my striking ability and in my movement, and I wanted to display that. I wanted to display that I'm not going to take guys down and beat them up on the ground. That if we stand it up, there's going to be ramifications for those actions as well, and it's going to be a long night standing up or on the ground. It doesn't matter. I'm not a pony. I'm a mixed martial artist, and I'm very well rounded, and I'm here to show that.
Did you have problems getting back home as well? I believe there was like some kind of storm or something. Was that right?
You know what? The There might have been. We definitely went through a storm, but I think the wind going from to Sydney helped us, because going from Brisbane to Perth, it took us like 5.5 hours. But the other way, going from Perth to Sydney, it only took like 3.5 hours. The flight was way ahead of schedule, so we had a bunch of time to sit around, and we went and ate like one of the best Wagyu burgers I've ever had in my entire life. It was amazing at the airport.
All right, well, let's jump into the opponent, man. Cal Nelson,
Yes, sir.
6-fight UFC veteran. He only has
Yep.
one win inside the octagon, though. What is your thoughts on him and the fighting style?
Yeah. He's a good fighter. I feel like 145 might be too big of a weight cut for him. I feel like he walks around a little bit heavy, and I feel like because of the weight cut, he gasses a lot easier. But sometimes people make adjustments. You can't judge them on that, But I just see patterns and see things that he could improve on that I feel he hasn't, and I just feel that my skill set is perfect for being a guy like Kyle Nelson. I just feel like anybody that I go up against in the UFC or just in general, that I can adapt and adopt to that style. Almost like Terrence Crawford, how yeah, he might a couple rounds in the beginning. He'll make the adjustments and be able to find out what's working, what's not working, and be able to read patterns and just program things correctly to walk away with a win.
When you step into the cage and you land like in the early onset of the fight, do you kind of get a gauge of how they're taking the punches, and you kind of get a feeling of how much longer that they can maybe sustain the damage on the feet from you?
Yeah, especially now, because my striking, and especially in like the past years, has just improved tremendously. Like it's night and day. So when I start to land punches, even in sparring, I'm really hurting guys, and right off the bat, I could just start to see the wear and tear, and I can, it's like we as fighters are just really good at reading body language. Like that's what you need to be a great fighter, is to be able to be a master of reading body language and picking up on like little idiosyncrasies of what's going on with them, and I think the more that you can do that, the better off you're going to be. And I feel like that's something that I have mastered over the years, from having so much amateur experience and just experience in general. And I just feel like it's gonna be a long night for Kyle. And I just feel like my weight cut is the best it's ever been.
Mm-hmm.
My skill set has improved so much that I just don't see any way that I could lose.
Nelson's last fight was against the Korean Superboy, right? A guy that was hyped up for a while. Nelson
Yep.
went in there and battled with them pretty decent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, the Korean Superboy is not who he used to be. What did you think
Right.
of how that fight played out?
Yeah, I feel like it was very close. It ended in a draw, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like and then wasn't Superboy Doctor Point?
I believe so. That's right. I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if he wasn't Doctor Point, Kyle Nelson would have lost that fight.
Mhm.
But this is the way it goes, and I feel as though the weight cut is too much for him.
Mhm.
And I feel like that comes with being just a high level professional. It's just you have to be ready for these things. You have to You have to understand that you got to do everything right. How you do one thing is how you do everything right. So I feel like I've seen some of the best guys in the world, and I've trained along the best guys. And the people that have their weight cut down, the people you can have the best camp with all the best fighters with state of art equipment and all this. You have a bad weight cut, and you look shitty in the fight. You know, you're doing a lot of sparring, and it's not technical sparring, and then you get a little injury before the fight, and then you feel it, and you're not be able to perform at 100%. You know, so I think just having good health and doing things like that go a long way. And so I feel like the way that I've been doing things and the team that and the path that we're on is literally the best.
With with this one, the circumstances around this fight, you're fighting in the same time zone. The flight is there's no layovers. You're talking about you're gonna have the best. You're having the best weight cut of your career, and Nelson seems like he does fade and he does have bad weight cuts. Do you feel like you're gonna be able to put him away early in this one, or do you feel like it's gonna be kind of like the same story? It's gonna be second, third round.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be early to mid. I feel like it will be a finish, and I feel as though my confidence and my preparation is just gonna be overwhelming. It's like right now we are so prepared. We're so prepared that I just don't see it playing out any other way. I mean, my coach has coached the likes of Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. when he was doing well, but when he started, going on a bad path, they separated ways because he wasn't able to listen and take the direction. You got guys like Venato, who just reclaimed the world title again, in boxing, #1 in the world. Luis Netti, who that guy just finished a guy in the 10th round in a title fight. And these are all guys that my coach has worked with. So the way that we do things, I've never seen anything like it. I've never ever seen anything like it in my life. And the way that we do things is such hard, smart work. So I just feel as though like there's no way that we can lose and that anybody can stop us.
June 10th, man, UFC 289, Vancouver, Canada. Appreciate the time, Blake, and all the best in the fight, man.
Hey, thank you so much, man. It's such an honor to be interviewed by you. I'm sorry I couldn't make it those other days, but I was just busy training and making everything happen. But I really do appreciate you, and I'm so thankful for your time.